Okay, good afternoon. We have Ken and Sewell here. Remember, if you have a question, please raise your hand, use the raise hand function, and I'll get to you. We are going to start with Wes Ruck.
Yeah, hey Cam. At what point today did you realize that you felt pretty good and that you could be out there for a while and kind of what were your thoughts going into the game?
I mean, I felt pretty good warming up, so thought I always had a chance. But pretty much after the first inning, I was like, okay, it's time to go, and it felt really good being out there, and guys made good plays behind me, and it was fun.
How well, especially with that two seamer, the movement on that? I mean, I know you're a guy who always gets pretty good run on that pitch anyway, but it looked like there was a little bit of extra gear to it today.
Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Don't really control that, honestly. But the biggest thing was just don't walk anybody or try to get ahead in the count and give my guys a chance to make plays behind me.
Okay, next we have Ryan from VolQuest.com.
I think your longest outing going in today was just 3.2 innings. Just how comfortable did you feel in those later innings? And then just overall, what did you feel like you had working for you today?
Like I said earlier, I feel like the biggest thing was just get ahead in the count, and the guys behind me played great, and they also put up some runs. So as a pitcher, not much more you can ask for besides just go out there, attack hitters, and whatever happens, happens.
And then what was your comfort level like kind of there in those later innings? I know you hadn't thrown that long this season.
Yeah, to be honest, I got a little gassed, but a little tired, but I was just trying to give everything I could to go deep as far deep in the game as possible.
Okay, our next question will come from Troy Progress-Heron from the Daily Times.
And obviously, like Ryan just said, you obviously haven't been used as a traditional starter all year. I guess was there a conversation with Tony and Frank about how deep you thought you could go into this game, or was it just kind of play it by ear type of thing?
He told me not too long ago, actually, that I ruined his pitching plan for the day, so I don't know how to take that, but hopefully it was a good thing.
Okay, and now Ben McGee from VolQuest.
Yeah, Camden, just with you having pitched earlier this week, was there anything different in your routine leading up to the game?
Well, it's a little different starting or leaving, so had more time to get my body ready and get my mind right for the start, and it was fun. It was.
And then you all obviously lose the first game of the tournament. You win 3 in a row, playing in the tournament title game, had to kind of take the detour or the scenic route. Why do you think this team is able to overcome adversity and be able to win 3 games in a row, facing elimination and play?
I think we're very resilient, and as a team, we love competing, and we play for our brothers, the guys next to us, and it's always a fun time being around these guys.
Okay, next we have Will Backus from Knoxville News.
Yeah, Camden, second straight shutout, and you've only allowed 5 runs in 4 games. Has this tournament kind of been a testament to how deep this pitching staff really is?
I think it's starting to show. We got guys that love to compete and that throw strikes and trust the guys behind us. And as a pitcher, it's all you can ask for.
And another question from Ryan with VolQuest.com.
You've only allowed 2 earned runs, I think, in the last 21 innings you've pitched. Over the past 2 weeks, has it felt like anything's changed, or if there's anything in particular you can credit that success to?
Well, I think it just comes down to being myself. And early in the year, I was trying to do too much and be someone I'm not. And the key to being a pitcher is just be yourself, and not everyone's the same.
Okay, Ben, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I was just wanting to ask Camden about Sean Hundley. And just last Sunday, he has that, or last Saturday rather, he had that bases loaded jam, or not bases loaded, but run on second, and then struck out 3 guys against South Carolina. And then you all kind of work into a jam here in the 9th today, and he just doesn't seem to flinch at all. Why do you think he's able to not flinch in those moments?
Sean's a special dude. He stays composed, and as a pitcher, he's probably the best on our team at being composed when things go bad and not letting that affect the outing. And you saw that today. He's a winner.
Wes, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, ma'am. Cam, I guess just in short, how much does it mean for y'all to play for an SEC tournament championship? I mean, I know the first thing you can do maybe is win the SEC East, and then you can try to win the SEC tournament, and then go on to, get to Omaha and all that stuff. But where does this rank for you? How nice is it to be playing for this game, and what does it mean for y'all?
It's pretty special, to be honest, but there's still work to be done, and hopefully you can ask the same question tomorrow in a different result.
And our last question comes from Troy. Go ahead, Troy.
Sean, I think there's talk so much about hitting being contagious. Like, I've only given up 5 runs in 33 innings this year with pitching staff. And the same thing we said about pitchers and how they all fed off of each other with the outings they all put together this week.
I couldn't really hear you, honestly. Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I can. You all have only given up 5 runs in 33 innings. How much have they all kind of fed off each other as pitchers? And do you think about the kind of this contagious way hitters say hitting is contagious a bit?
I mean, I think that just revolves with throwing strikes and trusting the guys behind you. And when you do that, the guys behind us are pretty good, and it's a good thing to have these guys behind you playing defense.
Hey, that's all we have. Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
If you have a question for Liam Spence, go ahead and put your hand up using the raised hand function. Okay, we're joined by Liam Spence. Our first question is going to be by Ben McGee.
Yeah, Liam, I've got 2 for you. Just from your perspective at shortstop, what did you see out of Camden today?
Camden was incredible today. He pounded the zone and he works fast.
And as a defender, when your pitcher's working fast, it's easy to stay locked in. So we really appreciate that out of Cam.
Then after losing on Wednesday and having to win 3 in a row, kind of taking the scenic route to get to Sunday, just why do you think this team is able to overcome that type of adversity and make it to the title game?
I mean, we just focus on the next task at hand, and we've been doing that all year, trying to bounce back from a loss. And it's just a group that has a lot of confidence, and we go out there grinding each day and just focusing on what we got to do that day, and we'll move on to the next day when that comes.
Okay, our next question is from Ryan with VolQuest.com.
Seemed like you were in maybe a short cold stretch going into the week. Just is there anything you can credit kind of you kind of looking like your more normal self the past few days?
Just sticking with the approach. It's been working all season. There's no reason to get away from it, and the hits will come. Just trusting that what I'm doing is working, and excuse me, and the hits will come. But just trusting what I was doing and having fun.
Okay, and Wes Rucker, your question?
Yeah, Liam, to kind of build off of that, I know that when you go through an entire season basically with only maybe one little mini slump in there, and then you start to go into that rut maybe a week or two ago, was there a part of you in the back of your mind that you're having to fight off that feeling of, oh man, this is the wrong time of the year to be doing this?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't thought about it, but it wasn't really worrying me because as soon as the season ended, it's kind of like a fresh start to once the playoffs start, it's just a fresh start to the season. And I went with the approach that has been working with me for all season. And yeah, I'm just happy to be getting on base again for the boys.
And what about the way that y'all were able to go out there and blank Florida, without having any of the 3 weekend starters available? I know that Camden's the guy who's been there and done that a little bit, but just kind of speak to how much more depth maybe this staff has than people think that it did.
Yeah, I mean, we know we got a lot of depth in the pen. I mean, we faced them all fall, and we know that they're all good pitchers, and we all have a lot of confidence in everybody that comes out of the pen. And it's just good to see guys today step up and do what we know that they can do in a big moment for us, and it was pretty special.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. Okay, Ben, you have a follow-up?
Yeah, Liam, back-to-back weekends, Liam's come in a clutch situation and had to work around some trouble. Just why do you think Hundley has been able to be so cool and calm in those situations?
That guy's composure is unreal. He just knows how to slow the game down and focus on what he's got to do the next pitch and make that pitch. And it's hats off to him for the way that he can just calm himself down in a big moment in a high-pressure situation. It's very impressive.
Ryan, your follow-up?
Looked like Rucker and Beck both lost balls in the sun today. Was there, from your view, was it any particularly harder to track balls? And then you kind of just answered it on Sean, but what does it say about Camden that wasn't rattled at all in that situation and just kept going about his business?
Yeah, it's impressive for Camden just to wipe it off kind of and just knuckle down and do what he has been doing all game and pick us up when we needed him. And that was just big from him, and it keeps the momentum on our side, which is very important going into the bats. And it's good to have a pitcher out there that can handle that kind of situation and continue on with what he's doing.
And our final question will come from Wes Rucker.
Yeah, Liam, I had a couple of quick ones. One, in terms of, you were talking about Hundley, not being rattled. Have you ever seen the guy get rattled? It could be on the field, off the field. I mean, just like sitting at home playing a video game. Have you ever seen the guy like lose his temper or get flustered?
I can't say I have. The guy just always is always a calm guy, and is a chill guy to be around. And I think that's what we all love about him is he's just always calm, collected, and he's a fun guy to be around.
And lastly, if y'all, you don't know who you're playing yet tomorrow, but if it's Arkansas, how much, the way that series ended, just how close all those games were, I mean, would y'all kind of be relishing a chance to get another crack at those guys?
I mean, absolutely. We want to play, we'd love to play either of them, and we're ready for whoever is on the other dugout tomorrow. But whoever it is, we're going to come ready to play, and we're all excited.
Okay, thanks, Liam, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now joined by Coach Tony Vitello. Yeah, you know the drill. Raise hand function if you have a question for him. And before we take questions, Coach, if you can please give us your general thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything fancy to say. I don't have as good of an accent as Liam either. He's a special kid, and he's our leadoff guy and does a great job of leading the team. But obviously, Camden Sewell was the ultimate leader today. Took the ball, was kind of our plan all along when the postseason would roll around to use him as a starter. He's kind of been a swingman for us. He started in a regional as a freshman. He's fully capable, as you saw today. I think Camden Sewell can win this game today, but Camden Sewell in a zone kind of showed up, or whatever you want to call it. He was in a flow there, and it was pretty special to watch. So we certainly owe him a big thanks. But overall, the team showed up with good energy today and played well. And it's an important time of year to have some consistency to you, because the surroundings they're loud, the lights are bright, and they're ever changing too with what's going on. So you're best off just kind of relying on your training, which is the great conference of the SEC, and just play ball. Ready for whatever you got?
Okay, our first question comes from Wes Rucker, right?
Yeah, Tony, I know that, going through the year, y'all have been fortunate to have those same 3 weekend guys all year long. But as a coach, and I know Sewell's got some experience, but is there part of you that has some anxiety thinking about, okay, this is a big time in the postseason and going to give the ball to a guy who hadn't started, I guess all year, maybe a couple times, but is there some anxiety that comes as a coach when you have to think about things like that?
Not with him, to be honest with you. We kind of had it sorted out. It was down to a few guys what we were going to do, and I can tell you overall that was not the pitching plan. It wasn't even close, but he smashed that into pieces with the way he was throwing the ball. But again, he's had a great career since he's been here. He's been in every spot you can imagine, whether it's closing a game in the SEC, starting a regional, pitching in the middle of a game, just facing one hitter to come in and do his thing. So there's a couple other guys too. I mean, I'm not speaking out of context for other coaches in the league too. We got some guys that are draft picks, some guys that literally might make it to the big leagues that we haven't used yet. And I'm not telling you we have this huge arsenal of guys, but Frank does a good job of training these guys, and we've used them in a bunch of different situations. And there's guys with quality numbers that have been in big situations before. And so it kind of helps alleviate any anxiety. You just hope that they go out there and just throw the ball like they're capable of. Because you can kind of read it. It could be a scrimmage. It doesn't have to be a big game. You can kind of read it when the ball's coming out the way it should out of a guy's hand and when it's not. And when those guys do that, it's not a 7 or 8 man staff that Coach Anderson can brag about. It's a bigger quantity of guys there.
And with Sean Hundley, have you ever seen the guy get flustered, whether it's on the field, off the field, or he just seems like it just seems like he's on a level as much as anyone you'll see?
No, I mean, Jalen Beeks is the only guy that I can think of that was the same. He was at Arkansas. He's in the big leagues now, so maybe that composure can bring Sean to the big leagues. But there's only a couple guys I've been around, and not that it's, everyone knows Max. I mean, he's a psycho. It's okay to show emotions in some of those situations, but the world could be coming to an end, and he just kind of maintains what his personality is and keeps plugging away. And it's a great example. Kind of talked about Liam's leadership and Sewell's. I mean, at the end of the game there, it's a great lesson for our guys that there isn't anything that's going to pop up in a baseball game that should be a surprise. Every time you come to the park, you see something new. And when it happens, rather than going, ballistic or completely overreacting, I guess do what Sean Hundley would do.
Okay, next question's from Ben McKee.
Yeah, Tony, I want to stick to pitching. Just from an X's and O's standpoint, a baseball nerd standpoint, I guess, what was Camden doing so well to be efficient today?
His tempo was awesome. Sometimes he gets a little too hyped up. He obviously has an up-tempo delivery, and he likes to work quick. I mean, both starters were the same in that fashion. But sometimes he'll take that to an extreme and let his emotions get the best of him and get going fast. And then the other thing, too, is sometimes a guy got to get on base here or there. A tendency for him or any pitcher is to now kind of start to stress the situation. No pitcher wants runs to score. But the best way to not let runs score is just to be who you are, and again, maintain that composure we talked about prior to this, and just throw the ball the way you're supposed to. And again, I feel like, and no disrespect, obviously, to Florida, they could beat anybody in the country. But if he just throws the ball the way he's capable of, he can beat those guys today, or at least give us a chance to win. But again, I think he was, excited about the opportunity we gave him, and then also kind of got in a little bit of a flow there. And really, again, that could just be who he is. Sometimes he'll disrupt that flow from getting too excited or getting too emotional on the mound. So a great lesson, personal lesson for him to carry into his next effort.
And then wanted to ask you about Frank Anderson mound visits. I swear every time he goes out there, you all get out of whatever jam you're in. I would love to see the stat on that. Well, from your perspective, why do you think you all have such success after Frank goes out?
Dude, are you the guy that's in the dugout saying, hey, it's the 7th inning, we got a no-hitter going? You're trying to jinx us, which I joke about. Pretty tough to hear any courtesy laughs on Zoom. But no.
I'm laughing, I promise.
Okay, I appreciate that. I owe you. No, I mean, Frank has been around as long as anybody. And all the umpires in the league, all you got to do is ask them how competitive he is. It's to a fault. But also, he's incredibly intelligent, and he uses that competitiveness in combination with his thoughts. And that's how he gets guys like Garrett Crochet from point A to a point B that's almost on another level, or really is. And so there's no magic in any pregame speech we have or coaching advice or anything like that. But I think our guys are able to calm themselves and play catch, whether it be the defense or the guys on the mound when he goes out there and kind of handles the situation. And it makes it easy on me. My only time out there is just going to be to switch up who we're going to use.
Okay, our next question is from Matt Jones.
Hey, Tony, congrats on the win.
Thanks, man.
I would assume what happened a couple of weeks ago with you and Dave kind of got blown out of proportion. I saw the two of you and Matt Hobbs talking between games. What was that conversation like, and how good did it feel to be able to see them in person again and talk?
Yeah, and we've shared some text messages prior to that, and Matt Hobbs is like a brother. I would hope he'd say the same. I mean, we were teammates in the same graduating class, and our kids are finding this out, and Mississippi and Arkansas, who are about to play, those friends they have in college baseball, it tops high school, and they'll never get it in pro ball. And that's no disrespect to Major League Baseball, but they're just not going to match that. And that's where my relationship stems from with Matt, and it's gone on. And then, yeah, I mean, it maybe would add more controversy online or for fans or whatever, but the bottom line is I had my mask up because we got our butts beat, and I didn't want to talk. And, Coach Van Horn is a mentor for me, and he's also a gracious winner. And he just wanted to say, good job. And I didn't want to chat, and he was frustrated I didn't. So he made a point to say it. And then that's when I said something that really should be handled away from the field. So his reaction, I don't think, was out of line. And that's what kind of stirred the attention. And then said, the hell with it. We might as well try and sort it out here while the emotions are going. But that's not a good idea because, again, there's emotions going. But it doesn't take a genius to figure out we lost that game because they beat us. And I worked under him and have learned a lot. And it's not good to be an easy loser. And he's not and I'm not. And that's the end of it. But, he's a guy, like I said, that has sent me information and congratulations and things like that. So, same thing with Sully. We talked last night on the phone. We're going to compete like crazy against each other and quote unquote hate each other or whatever you want to call it, for 3 hours. And then afterwards, I think everybody that's in this league respects what everybody's doing because it is an absolute grind. And then from my personal standpoint, I'm not trying to kiss anybody's butt or anything like that, but I'm single. I don't know how guys do this, with families and kids and juggle everything that's going on because it's a time-consuming deal, and we're all very passionate about it.
Then you're at the end of a long week. How do you approach pitching tomorrow? First from a starting standpoint, but then just trying to keep your pitchers fresh with regionals on the horizon.
Yeah, assess guys. I mean, as well as anyone. I just talked with a representative from you guys. That 2017 thing was, my heart was cut in half, and I think the way that SEC championship went and the travel afterwards. And I think there was a bit of a carryover effect there. So you got to manage your calories and your travel right. Fortunately, we're close to Birmingham, so I think that helps our guys a little bit. But, you know, everyone wants to win this thing. It's a pretty cool deal. But you also want to be prepared to go into next weekend. So it's a juggling act that, you know, in the case of you asking a question with the pitching is, let's look at what guys have done the last 2 weeks workload, and then maybe even have some conversations with guys too. And then too, probably what comes down to what all of us have to do is don't even give some of these guys the option. You know, a guy like Blade Tidwell, I said, hey, can you get an out tomorrow? There's zero question he's going to do that, but that would be foolish. So you don't even write his name on the list. You don't give him that option. So those are some of the components that will go into it. But I think whoever plays tomorrow, including our guys, are going to get a phenomenal repetition. And I keep saying it over and over. This league will prepare you for success in the postseason. And it's one of the reasons the numbers are the way they are in past years.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, our last question comes from Trey Wallace.
Hey, Tony, what's it say for your team, man, that you guys can come out and dominate guys, you know, other opponents, you know, by run ruling them, and then coming out today and having a guy like Camden pitch 6 innings, you guys only score 4 runs, and be able to hold on to that. Just so many different ways you guys win ball games this year, and it's showing in Hoover. What does that say for your team?
They got a unique little deal where we don't have to do much with them this year, where they know how to kind of ebb and flow with what's going on. I don't know if that's the most intelligent way to say it, but like, for instance, game 1 didn't go too good for us or any fans. So how are you going to handle that? And they seem to kind of use it as determination for the next day. And then I think, you know, you're asking more specifically about today. I think what they did the last couple days kind of built up some steam or, you know, really created some confidence. And again, you start to get comfortable in your surroundings because this is a grand stage, and then you just start playing baseball. But like I said, they're playing ball with a deal where, you know, you can say as a coach all you want, you know, yesterday's yesterday, or you can't change the past and things like that. But with our game, unlike football, you have to expect all the days and the repetitions, because they're so close to one another, to add up. And they will have some sort of impact on the day, and it's your choice as a player. How do you want it to impact? Do you want it to be in a positive way or a negative way? And like I said, they got some kind of unique deal going on as a group where they find a way to churn out positives out of whatever's gone on previously.
Okay, Coach, that's all the time we have. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, you bet. Y'all have a good one.
A reminder, the transcript will be provided by ASAP Sports, and then a recording can be found in the media portal. Thanks for joining us.